Hello peoples of the internet, my name is Lily. Welcome if you're new and welcome back if you're not. And today I'm going to be finishing off recommendation week with some unique book recs. To end off recommendation weeks, we have unique book recs while also simultaneously recommending you books that start with A, because as I was making this list, I realized all of them started with the letter A. So, I am going to be starting a series on my channel where I recommend books based on the first letter. I am allowed to count A, like the letter A, like just like A, like when I do T, I'm probably not gonna do the, unless I really love the book, but for these, I don't think, yeah, I canceled out the for these, but let's just get right into it because I love all of these books and I want to talk about them with you. So the first one is questionable. It doesn't actually start with A, but whenever I talk about it, I always talk about it with A. You'll see what I mean. So it's The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This does not start with A in any shape or form, but whenever I talk about it, I say Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I never say The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender because that's a lot of words. I just say Ava Lavender. So that's why we're going with it. This follows Ava Lavender. And she was born with wings, and it tells like the story of generations of women in her family up until her, and it's just a story. I love this. It was so beautiful and amazing, and I just fell in love with it. It was just really good, and I don't know. I read this back in like 2018, 2019, maybe 2019. It was 2019. And it was one of the first books I read because of BookTube. I think it might have been the first book I read because of BookTube, so it always holds a deep emotional spot in my heart. But it's also just a great book, and if you are looking for just a great story, I highly recommend. The next one we have here is one that starts with D, but I'm canceling it out because I want to, and it's my video. The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. This book is so good. In my if you like this, then you like this video, I did compare this to Ava Lavender because it is quite similar. Because we see the past. We see the past, and it's also bird stuff, but we see the past. In this one, it's kind of different how we see the past, and in Ava Lavender, it's through generations. But this follows Lee, and her mother has died by suicide, and Lee believes that her mother is a bird, and she learns more about her family, her mother's side, her dad. She learns all about everything, and it's just such a beautiful story. And a lot of these are just stories. I don't really know how to explain other than just their stories. They're beautiful stories. But it's wonderful, and I can't believe I waited like 3 years to read it. But I thought it was amazing, so I highly recommend you pick this up. It's very sad. Trigger warnings for suicide, and probably amongst other things. I can't remember right now, but if you can deal with the heavy topics in this book, I highly recommend you read it. It was so good. The next one is one of my favorite books of all time. One of my favorite books. I mean, all of these are like favorite books of all time, at least most of these. But this one is one of my favorite books of 2021, and that is After Love by Tanya Byrne. This follows Ash, and she falls in love with Poppy over couple months, or I don't think it's a year, but I know it's a couple months, and then Ash dies, and she is prompted with this one last chance to say goodbye to Poppy, and it is absolutely beautiful. This is marketed as the lesbian love story you've been dying to read, and that is absolutely true. Like, it was absolutely amazing. I fell in love. It's so fast-paced. I read it in mostly a day. And it's like 384 pages, and I read it in like a day. So I definitely think you should read this. It's beautiful. It's sadly not out in America. You have to order it from Book Depository, which is very sad, and it took weeks to get here. But it is so worth it because it's absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't read it, I highly recommend. Yeah, I love this book, and you should read it because it's good. The next book is a book that I haven't talked about a lot, and it's just absolutely amazing. It just sits on my shelf. Like, it just sits on that shelf, and I don't think it's fair to it. I think I should talk about it more because it's absolutely amazing. And that is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I got this copy from Kat, so I'm very thankful because I love this book so much. But this follows Connor. That's what I thought his name was Connor. It follows Connor, and his mother has cancers. She's not doing too well, and at night this monster comes and tells him a story. He's gonna tell him 3 stories, and by the end of the 3 stories, the monster has told Connor that he needs to tell his story. It wrecked me. It is so sad. It is absolutely amazing. This edition has beautiful, beautiful illustrations, and I definitely want to go through them again because I haven't, like, looked at them since I read this book, like, 3 years ago. But it's another great story, and it's so sad, and it's so good. But it is just absolutely amazing, and if you have not read this yet, I definitely think you should. It deals with topics like cancer, obviously, but if you can handle that, I think you should read it because it is such a good, great, amazing read. The next one on this list is one that is very unique. This is more of the unique. I'm gonna start with A, but it's so unique because it's nothing like I've ever read before. Like, I haven't read a book with this element, which I'll talk about in a minute, before, and it's just absolutely cool. It's so cool. And this cover is amazing, and that is All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. But this involves, like, an evil tarot deck almost, and it's actually what got me into tarot. I love doing tarot, but there's this tarot deck that this girl finds in, like, this school basement, and she does tarot readings for, like, a bunch of her friends. She's super connected to this tarot deck, and as she does a tarot reading for her friend, Lily, this card comes up. She has seen it once before, but she put it in her room. She never put it back in the deck, and it comes up, and she absolutely has no idea what it means. And then Lily goes missing. It is, oh my god, it's so good. And the ending is kind of like, wow. Like, I'm really excited to read the sequel because I think it's gonna be super fun. But I love this. This was really, really unique. I loved the tarot and the witchery and everything because I just haven't read a book with tarot. This book's really good, so you should read it. The very last book on this unique book Rex video is a book, again, that is one of my favorite books of all time. I will never shut up about it because it's so good. It was one of my top books of 2021, and that is All Your Twisted Secrets by Diana Urban. I read this in like 2 days in the middle of a reading slump last year. It was one of the best books I have ever read. This follows 6 teenagers who get invited to this dinner party, and when they get there, there is a bomb and a needle, and a note that says you have, an hour to choose one person to die by injecting whatever's in the needle, or you all die because the bomb will go off. And it is so good. Oh my god. Diana Urban knows how to inflict pain, especially in her newest book, These Deadly Games, which you should read. They both just pull at your heartstrings and make you want to cry. I got my friend to read this, and she never reads books at home because she hates reading. She went home and finished this book. I was like, yes, girl, yes! She loved it, and it was nice to talk to her about everyone. Diana Urban is a goddess at writing, and you can't change my mind. But if you haven't read a Diana Urban book, I highly, highly recommend because they are all so unique and so different. Yeah, you should read it because you should read all of these because they're all so good. That's why I'm recommending them. I hope you got a new book rec. I hope you read some of these if you haven't already, and I hope I added some books to your never-ending TBR because that's my goal as a booktuber, to, you know, yeah. If you've made it this far in the video, comment a string of uppercase letter A's, like 3. I'll put it on the screen what I want you to do. Like 3 letter A's in a row, uppercase, so that I know you made it this far in the video. But I hope you enjoyed this unique book rec / books to start with A book rec. I will be doing books to start with B in the next couple of months, so fun. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, y'all!